Okay, so welcome back. Before we go on to pulling data from Excel, let's pull data from one more web source that we can all relate to. Okay, so let's pull data from one more source that we can all relate to before we do pull data from Excel. Now, here's what we are going to do. Here I have World Health Organization websites, and in the World Health Organization websites, if you come to, I just clicked on data table. Where did I get it? Once you come to data table, you have this whole data that gives you everything that is going on in the world in terms of coronavirus. So here's what we want to do. We want to find who has the highest case. We want to find maybe pull just a little bit of data from this place, right? Now, particularly, of course, we'll be interested in everybody will be interested in his country and how the transmission currently affects his market. So let's come here, copy this URL, and head over to Power BI. Now in Power BI, we are going to go to Get Data, click on Web, and we'll come and paste the URL inside here. Click on OK. Make sure everything is fine. Now, while this is trying to load up, right, at the end of the day, to show us a small set of tables, then we'll just simply browse the various tables and select the one that works for us. Now, if I select this one, this table 1, it's showing us, yes, it's showing us countries, it's showing us some other figures, but notice what's going on here. I have column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. That is not really correct. So we need to make some changes to this before we can use that information. Now, if you come over to web view, you see what is going on here. So this is cases. In fact, we'll come back to this later. Let's just carry on and move forward. So I would select table 1 and I'll come and click on transform data. I need to make some changes to the table header first of all before I can use the data as it is. Now, here is all of my data. Now, let us start making the changes. First, column 1 is obviously countries. So let's make some changes. Let's come down to rename and call it countries. All right, press enter. So what is this column 2? Let's go and find out on the page. Let's find out on the website. Column 2 is total cases, right? Total cumulative cases. So let's say total cumulative cases. I think we can just double click it and say total cumulative cases. Press enter. The third column, let's go and find out what it is. That's newly reported cases in the last 24 hours. Okay, so let's double click and say cases in the last 24 hours. The fourth column that has about 167,000 is okay, yes, that's cumulative deaths. So this is total deaths. Let's come back here and say total, let's say cumulative deaths. Total and cumulative seems to be the same thing. So let's just have cumulative deaths. And then this last other column is deaths in the last 24 hours. Deaths in the last 24 hours. And I think finally this should be mode of transmission. Mode of transmission. Okay, good. Okay, so it looks like everything seems to be good so far. Yes, everything seems to be good so far. So we will now come here and do close and apply. Oh, we forgot to even name the table. But not to worry, we'll still name the table in a few minutes. All right, so see, here's our table, table 1. We can just simply come here and rename the table and call it, let's say, COVID stats. Aha, press enter. Now, back to the reports, and we need to pull some data from, let's pull some data from COVID, from the COVID stats. Let's see, we want to pull, let's say we want to pull, let's just take a regular chart first of all. We'll come back to set certain things out later. Let's take countries, and let's take mode of transmission, cumulative. I think we want to take cases in the last 24 hours or new cases in the last 24 hours. I think that's a safe, yeah, cases in the last 24 hours. So these are the new cases in the last 24 hours, right? Okay, so before we do that, let's just expand this a little bit and look for where is everybody. So the highest case here now is India. The highest case in India is 63,490 new cases, followed by US, which is 55,359 cases. So let's say we take the highest three, for instance, right? If we take the highest 3 cases, then we're going to have to come here and do some filtering, and we'll sort by the highest 3. Okay, so for us to do, let's filter this last 3 cases, like the highest 3 cases in the last 24 hours. So we'll just simply, in order to do this, to filter, we want our report to show just the highest 3 cases in the last 24 hours, which is India, United States, and Brazil. So we'd have to open up this filters tab, come to countries, right? Open up countries, then you can see this is, now this is showing us all. We'll just simply make some changes to this. Aha. So with this table selected, we'll simply open up filters, then come down here to countries where we have basic filtering. Change this basic filtering to top N. This top N is more like you can do top anything, top 2, top 3, top 5, right? If you click on this top N, we can even make it top 5 cases, and we want to filter by value. What value do we want to filter? We want to filter by highest cases. We'll simply come and drag the highest cases and dump it inside here by value. So it's going to give us the top 5, right? So once we apply this filter, it will give us the top 5 cases. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Good. So let's minimize this. Now we have a report that gives us the top 5 cases in the world, right? India, United States, Brazil, Colombia, and Peru. Those are the top 5 cases. So let's use, let's use this chart. Very good. Let's use this funnel chart. This funnel, reduce it a little bit, and look for where to place it here. Let's place it somewhere there first of all, right? So these are the top 5 cases, in the world that are hit by COVID-19. All right, so now we have pulled 2 sets of data from external sources. The first set of data, the first 1, 2, 3 reports were pulled from Google Analytics, right? That Google Analytics chart showed us the performance of our website, assuming we have an e-commerce website. Now, it showed us unique page views by operating system, right? Which is the unique number of persons that visited our sites by their operating system. This particular report will be useful for whoever is handling the website or the management of the e-commerce website. Once he looks at the first set of data, he knows that if he's doing any upgrade, all his design has to be based on designing for where his largest visits are coming from. And in this case, it's Android, Windows, and iOS. Now, the next thing he needs to look at we can also look at is number of pages per session by operating system, right? Let's not dwell too much on this. This is Windows, Linux, Android, and all that. So we have quite a fair distribution here. Now, this is the average time spent on the page by operating system. Now, I don't want to dive into this too much because it can get a little technical. The interpretation can get a little technical. But this is just to show you that we can pull actual realistic data from the internet, right? When we have reports like this. Now, the next data that we want to pull is we would want to pull COVID-19 awareness, right? COVID-19 cases, right? Now, this chart, we now had to go to World Health Organization's website and extracted a table that shows us what is going on in the world by way of COVID-19. Now, tomorrow, if we come back to this document tomorrow and refresh this page, right, this data will change. First of all, we have India having the highest of 63,490 newly reported cases, right? United States following closely with 55,359, and Brazil following closely with just 51,000. Colombia is 11,000, and Peru is 8,000 new cases in the last 24 hours, right? Now, if we come back tomorrow and refresh this report, this data is going to refresh because the source data, right, the World Health Organization table would have changed, would have refreshed, right? In fact, I think these figures even refresh on a regular basis. As new cases are reported, it refreshes, you get. So remember we had, what was our first few, top 5 was what? So let's click on that. We have United States, Brazil, India, Russian Federation, South Africa. Just to be clear, okay, no. These are total cumulative cases. Our report is cases in the last 24 hours. So let's try and sort by that. You can see India, United States, Brazil, Colombia, and Peru, the exact 5 that we had before now. You can see India, United States, Brazil, Colombia, and Peru. India, United States, Brazil, Colombia, and Peru. So as soon as this report refreshes, right, as soon as more data comes in and this page refreshes, that's how this our small report is going to change. Now that we have imported through 2 different external sources, we're now going to take a few questions and then we'll now dive into the big one, which is pulling data from Excel.